Thank you for having me, and I appreciate the time which I'm going to spend with you. So I'm going to tell you about my pathway, what I did in the healthcare, how I came to where I am now, and definitely my vision and my plans in my life was shaped by my life experiences, my connections, my friends, family, mentors, and local geography as well. Um, okay, so thinking first, uh, as some of you might picked up from my accent, I'm not from around here. My story began in the United States in Westchester County, New York State. It's approximately 30 miles away from where I am right now in the state of New Jersey in Select Specialty Hospital. My very first, I came from USSR, Russia, many years ago to the city of Hartsdale. And my very first employment started at $4.25 an hour as a dishwasher in the bakery shop. It was a very tiresome job. I had to move lots of pans and scrub a lot of baked dough and all these things. I had many other odd jobs. This is how I looked like when I came fresh off the boat to this country. I had many other odd jobs before I graduated the college and became a PA. It took me some time to learn English to be able to start the. I went to College of Staten Island in the City University of New York, and I'm sure you still can hear Sputnik accent when I speak. So this is the college where I went to. This remarkable college, it was actually, for me, very remarkable. What this college gave me, it gave me an opportunity to participate in the research. It's a relatively small college in the faraway county of New York City, hard to get there. But this college is specializes in biochemistry, biology, and terrific research programs. So I went to that college as a biology major, and I was on a pathway of becoming a neuroscience PhD student. And I wanted to pursue the neuroscience. I wanted to do the bench work, but again, I was young, I was impatient. I did not want to wait for years to see the results of my labor. If you were involved in the bench lab work, you know how many failed experiments you have to go through before you get a positive result. And it's, again, I was young, I was inexperienced, and I wanted the immediate gratification. So with that, I changed my mind. I spoke to friends of mine who were PAs, and I went to a PA school. I graduated as a physician assistant. And I'm not sure if many of you are aware what PAs are. And actually this year, the Association of Physician Assistant changed the name of PAs from physician assistant to physician associate. PAs are medical professionals who diagnose illness, develop and manage treatment plans, prescribe medications, and often serve as patients' principal healthcare providers. We do thousands of hours of medical training. PAs are versatile and collaborative. We practice in every state and in every medical setting and specialty, improving healthcare access and quality. And you will hear a lot of same words: quality, teamwork, collaboration. it is so important in what we do in the healthcare. So working all hours as a PA, nights and days. This is me catching a power nap right before I heading home. I live in New Jersey and I worked at North Shore University Hospital. It was quite a hike. But it made me see what the team at the bedside experiences. And that it helped me to start building the trust with the patients, with my team. But being PA is actually very fun. You see cases which not even hit the movies. You will not see such drastic changes in patient condition only by being a PA. You're actually exposed to it. You're exposed treating patients who are so sick, incredibly, and you help to bring them out from practically being dead to bringing them back to the families, to the home. It's very satisfying job, being a PA, being at the bedside. You come back home and you have that feeling that you actually went to Six Flags or something, because it is so interesting. Every day is something new. Every day you're exposed to people who go out of their way to teach you, to show you what is the best way to practice medicine. And I was very lucky to be exposed to people who were so gracious to teach me, to show me what they do the best, neurosurgery. And being as a neurosurgical PA, you pretty much can do a lot of things. You can go to intensive care unit to manage these super sick patients. You can go to the operating room to help with these surgeries. This is an incredible opportunity for anybody who is considering the healthcare. And at this time, I started to learn what success is not being measured by what one person can do at the bedside, but by the entire team. This is just an example of a spine surgery. This is the incision made purposefully to preserve this tattoo. Again, patients are very attached to their tattoos, and patient satisfaction is number one. So as a PA, you get the chance to close this wound and make it look something like that. This is immediately post-operatively.
Good morning, sir.
I'm very sorry. I'm in a meeting.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, guys. So, and when this incision heals, it looks like that. But again, you are not doing it alone. There are multiple people in the operating room who help you. And there were many more people who were training you to make sure that you can do the great job. Let me just, one thing. Hold on. I'm not sure if it's going to play here.
I can share my screen and play this video. I found it, Oleg, if you want.
Sure.
Okay. And then you can go back to sharing.
Very good. Let's do that.
The truth is that Hollywood's elite actors can get ripped.
Like
You
in
want
the
me to stop
meantime,
sharing?
everyone is praising your tattoo skills.
Let me pull it up from the beginning. Did you want to watch the whole video? Yes?
Yes, it's a short one.
Okay, perfect. All right. This is correct. That's good. Alrighty. I'm starting soon.
Terrific. I'm
Cool.
back, right?
That was so quick.
It was so quick, but this is the teamwork. And this is the teamwork which you actually see in the operating room, in the ICU, when patient, especially in trauma center, when patient hits the floor, this is how the medical team works. And this is the image in my head when I'm talking with my team. This is how I want it. This perfection, this Ferrari perfection at the bedside, this is the best. Anticipation, teamwork, being always ready, and teamwork. This is when I started to work in neurosurgical ICU. This is my vision of the teamwork started to take shape. Working with the CNAs, nurses, physicians, technologists, all coming together for the same goal, providing the best care for the patients. At this time, I becoming quite proficient in what I do. I'm placing central lines, ventriculostomy drains, lumbar drains.
Oleg, I'm sorry to interrupt you. You have to
Yes.
share your screen.
Oh, hold on. 1 second. Thank you, Julissa.
You're welcome.
Share screen. Uh-huh. Share sound, optimize for video clip. Okay. Everybody can see it?
Yes.
Yay, thank you.
You're
All right. So being a part of the team. And at this time, I started to surround myself with people who take pride in what they do. No matter what their position, what their title, what their function is, it's very important to work with the people who really take pride in what they do, be it environmental worker, be it director of ICU. It makes life totally different. I learned from the EVS worker Jose to go above and beyond and be proud no matter how seemingly small your role is. Again, but being as a PA or working as a PA, you never stop learning. And for me, from the PA school, going through the neurological tests and assessment, it was the most challenging. And I perfected it working in the neurosurgical department. making fun of boring stuff is important. Making fun and having fun with your team is super important. Enjoying the camaraderie, getting together with your coworkers, with their spouses, it's such a great way to really celebrate what is going on in the life, because you are bombarded with, unfortunately, deaths, horrible diseases, and it's important to step away and take a look at the people, take a look at the smiles, and join the jokes and having a good time. So what changed in my life that brought me to the dark side? Well, it's not really a dark side. I'm saying it jokingly. But why did I left all this fun and started to think of becoming a paper pusher? And what changed is that this person, my brother, he gets, sorry, he gets admitted to the, sorry. It's very interesting. It's over 10 years, and still it's very hard to speak.
Take your time, Oleg.
So anyway, my brother, he gets admitted to my unit, where my team and myself, my wife, actually, who also was working in the same unit with me, were taking care of him. He bounces back and forth from hospital to rehab to nursing homes, and unfortunately, he does not survive. He succumbs to his disease a year later in our unit, and we admit him to palliative care. With him being a kidney transplant patient, being on a ventilator, dialysis patient, because his kidney transplant failed due to his hemorrhagic stroke, which is the bleeding inside the head. It put tremendous pressure on my team and my hospital to really actually figure out how to place this fragile patient and find an appropriate facility where he can be discharged to. At that time, I did not know more about a lot about post-acute care. It was only 2010. But what happened, my mindset changed in a way that I felt that I want to reach out to more patients, that I want to reach out not only to the patient at the bedside during my shift, but I want to reach out to the population of patients. I want to have my actions affect not one person at a time, but more people. So I made up my mind that I want to go back to school. And I went to Hofstra University and to get my MBA in the strategic healthcare management. This opened the doors in front of me, other doors which I did not have before. But it also opened the doors inside my head, which was most important. And with that, I started to get the vision what I can do to really touch more patients. And I became the administrative director in the Department of Neurosurgery at Lenox Hill Hospital. So as the administrative director in the Department of Lenox Hill Hospital, my first task was to take the picture of the toilet. It's a very interesting position, being the administrative director. You are no longer a clinician, but your background helps a lot to guide the patient care, to actually see at the things through a different perspective. And you want to address little things, which are actually big things, like a non-working toilet or a lot of crap inside of the in front of the elevator, which needs to come out. And at this time, and you start building the team. This is when we started neurosurgery department. At that time, seems a lot, but not really. And before I left, I took another picture of our department of neurosurgery. This is what we became. If before we were just utilizing a few lines on one part of the wall, now 2 walls are not enough to put all of us there. The department grew, the team grew, the talent, the most talented people started to join us and started to look to become a part of our team. But what is important for every team is to have a right mission, and understand it. And the Department of Neurosurgery at Lenox Hill has a mission to provide the extraordinary quality of care in the core components of neurosurgery: tumor, spine, and vascular, in the office, OR, bedside, and home. And these are the 4 C's. And many people in the department, they can recite these 4 C's by heart: care, compassion, communication, coordination. And to me, these 4 C's are always these 4 people with whom I started as chief PA at Lenox Hill, and with whom I started as the administrative director at Lenox Hill Hospital. These are the best doctors ever. You can see Dr. Langer sitting down, Dr. Levine, almost as tall as I am, Dr. Bukvar, and Dr. Ortiz. The best team ever. And everything for these people is about the mission: working with the best talent, bringing the best talent to work together. And having a team working together, it's fun. It's an incredible achievement when everybody can do their job, their tasks smoothly. And again, the best doctors in the world, it's these people in front of you. But I'm growing. I'm looking outside of the box. I'm still thinking, what else can I do for my future? What else future holds for me? And the future held for me to become a part of a different organization. I took the opportunity to join a different organization. One of the largest organization. It's in the top 10 largest health systems by the hospital numbers in the nation. It's a Select Medical Corporation. Select Medical Corporation runs 135 hospitals, which is more or less accurate. It's actually more now because we just acquired several more hospitals, one in the state of New Jersey, another in the state of Arizona. But what is Select Medical? What do we do? We run long-term acute care hospitals. And I'm not sure how many of you guys are familiar with what long-term acute care hospitals do. Long-term care acute care hospitals, these are the facilities which specialize in the treatment of patients with serious medical conditions, that require care on an ongoing basis, but no longer require intensive care or extensive diagnostic procedures. These patients are typically discharged from the ICU, and they require more care than they can receive in a step-down, rehab, or skilled nursing facility, or at home. And my brother actually would be a perfect candidate to go to a LTAC, long-term acute care hospital. But interestingly enough, New York State at that time did not have long-term acute care hospitals. And me, myself, I did not know about the existence at that time either. So where these hospitals are located? It's a very interesting concept. Most of the LTACs are housed within the walls of a larger tertiary institution, but they function independently. You will find most of the LTACs in the walls of a larger medical center, but it's a totally independent entity. LTACs, they are licensed as the acute care hospital, same as any hospital is licensed. Department of Health, JCO, they all require the same regulations to be followed from LTACs or regular hospital. And what are the benefits of hospitals such as mine, where I work? Because we're able to focus our energy and resources on a very specialized treatments, we can be quite successful in having patients recover. And what I mean by that? So let's say ICU patients, intensive care patient, who is still on ventilator, dialysis, who is very malnourished and very disabled, comes to our facilities. What we do, we target everything. We start weaning the patient. We actually take patient out of bed while patient is connected to the ventilator. It's a very interesting picture to see when patient, when there's a ventilator dragging behind the patient and the team of physical therapists helping patient to walk. This is where it's like a boot camp for patients as well. We take patients out of bed. We provide rehabilitation services to the patients. We fine-tune the patients so they can actually go home safely. And if not home, inpatient rehab. And what type of patients we get here? Very sick patients, very high acuity patients. Again, these patients would not be ever deemed safe to be discharged to a step down. These patients are still on ventilator. They're still on multiple intensive care therapy drips. They undergoing dialysis. They still consider the intensive therapy patients, but they're stable. And this is the outlook just from Select Medical. I'm here in New Jersey and the rest of the country. This is where LTACs are, but it's only LTACs. There's about 100 of us LTACs in the at Select Medical. In the whole country, there's 435 long-term acute care hospitals. Not a lot, but definitely we are the biggest provider. But what also Select Medical does, we also run inpatient rehabilitation hospitals, such as Kessler, and multiple other physical therapy centers through the country. And these are a bunch of brands which are functioning under larger Select Medical corporation. So I came to New Jersey. I became the brand new CEO. I had this opportunity, and there in this state, I was faced with competition. There's always competition. You cannot get better if you do not have a competition. So in the state of New Jersey, there are 8 long-term acute care hospitals. There are 72, we call it short-term acute care hospitals. You guys call it hospitals. There are 72 hospitals in the state of New Jersey. Just in New York State, in New York City alone, not talking about the state, New York City alone, in all New York boroughs, there are 62 hospitals, larger and smaller, but it's 62 hospitals versus 72 for the whole state in New Jersey. Incredible numbers. So I became the chief executive officer in Rochelle Park for Select Specialty Hospital. And this is me on my first day. I'm wearing a suit which actually Dr. Langer presented to me before I left Lenox Hill Hospital. And guess what is my very first task as the CEO of the hospital? Toilet. Yes, picture of a non-working toilet. Small things are becoming a very big things for the patients, for the staff. So I did not come to my hospital without knowing what I'm going to face. I knew that I'm coming to the facility which is needs a change. I knew that I'm coming to the facility which is struggling with the infection rate, and I need to tackle it. But luckily, I had enough experience and enough guidance from Lenox Hill, from Northwell, to really tackle it. So I started in January or February 2020. This is CLABSI rate. It's central line associated infection. We eliminated it in 2020. Looking at everything what we do is important. Looking at the numbers, no matter how boring the numbers may seem, it's actually important to understand, to measure how you're moving from point A to point B. Are you moving sideways? Are you moving up? Are you moving down? It's very important. So ACT, this is acute care transfers. Having high acute care transfers is not good. That means that patient who comes to you is not stable, needs to be transferred out to be stabilized. It is not good. It is not good for the patient. So we took care of it in 2020. Winning rate. Winning rate is mean when patient comes to you, to us on the ventilator, how successful are we to wean patient off the ventilator and allow patient to breathe on it on their own. We became quite successful as well. And of course, 2020, it will be the year when COVID started. My facility is small. We are 62 licensed beds. It's a very small facility. In a sense, it's a very large intensive care unit. We had to improvise. We had to create our own intense COVID unit where we would recover and take care of probably 2022 COVID patients at once. And it was very important for me to motivate my employees to be the first ones to go into the COVID unit. At that time, if you remember, everybody was scared what COVID is. No vaccines at that time available. And These are the first employees who volunteered to go into the COVID unit first to start taking care of our patients. And having them pose and making them smile behind the mask, it was super important. And first step first is first patient of the ventilator. It's a small achievement, but it's a first step to beat the COVID. And several weeks later, this is when we are celebrating success, when more and more patients getting off the vent, when more and more patients are being extubated, decannulated, more and more patients are being discharged home from our hospital. And as CEO, it's important for me not only be at the desk and look at the numbers, but also be with my team. Be with my team when the hard stuff hits and help them out in the way I can. Shaving the patient, whatever is needed. Yes, I can do central lines, but what is important is to help the patients. What is important is to be at the bedside with my team and be there visible and help patients to go home safely. Make them, again, smile behind the mask. This is me saying goodbye to one of the patients who is going home in the ambulance, and his wife is next to us as well. Again, being a part of the team and not walking away from any duties, whatever is required, is important. Everybody is looking at me. I'm in the position, it's the most visible position. And what I do or what I do not do is important. And here I am gathering the supplies and the masks around the state and bringing it to my hospital. And most importantly for me is to celebrate my staff every single day. It's the most important task to make sure that every employee who is working with me knows that they're important and they're number one and they're the best employee ever. And having them recognized on daily basis, this is what makes the team move. Being part of the team and not just the boss of the team. This is how I envision my success as being a CEO in this hospital. And of course, everything what we do from the very beginning, from me being a PA, even from me being doing the neuroscience experiments, it's everything, it's about the patient. It's improving the patient care. And patients speak. They provide us the greatest feedback ever. And I love reading this. Okay. As the CEO, I had a lot of things to do for the first time. It was my first time. It was my first time to face the Joint Commission, which came into us in 2021. Before, I was on the back row facing Joint Commission, but now I had to face them face to face and speak about the hospital, speak what we do, where our opportunities are, and how we can move forward. And successful Joint Commission survey. That's a big deal for any hospital. Celebrating every new employee who joins the team and making sure that they understand how important they are by joining my team. And over here, being one of the tallest guys to hold the red banner and wearing the red tie and red shirt, because it's wear red for women. It's a Women's Health Heart Day. And the team is not only at work. The team is at home as well. What's happening there is very important because everything rolls together. And these are my two favorite cups. One of them I gave to myself. One of them I got from my colleagues. Well, I just give out the answer. Best that ever, I got it myself. And
World's best boss, I bought for you.
thank you, Julissa. And this, just in case, this is my contact information, my direct cell phone number, my email. If you have any questions, if you would like to chat or discuss anything, I'm here for you. Just reach out to me. Any questions, comments?
So we have a few questions, Oleg. Before we get to the questions, I just wanted to thank you for participating in this segment today. Some of you who are present today know I am Julissa Reyes. I'm the Director of Operations here at Lenox Hill Neurosurgery. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Oleg. Oleg actually hired me into neurosurgery here at Lenox Hill and has been an amazing mentor to me for the last almost 6 years. He left us almost a year and a half ago, and he continues to be such a great mentor, so inspiring, so educated. And if you do reach out to him, he's extremely funny. So with that being said, Oleg, we do have some questions. One of them is, after becoming a healthcare administrator, after being a PA, how have you been able to work on making healthcare more accessible to different populations? Did you encounter any obstacles?
I think I understand the question. So one thing what I did in my hospital, because we're different cultures, different expectations. My hospital, we're located in Bergen County. It's a very traditional county. There's not a lot of diversity in this county. What I'm making my hospital is so-called easy button. No matter what patient's background is, what the insurance issues are, we are accepting the patient to take care of the patient. Yes, I understand that I am the administrator, and it's important for me to look at the bottom line for my revenue and having a positive revenue, but I'm a human being. And for me, it's important to provide the help to patients who need it. The example is that we provide access to patients from multiple facilities, not only from New Jersey. People travel to us from South Carolina. They travel to us from Maine. They come to us from upstate New York. They come to us from the Bronx. There are different colors and different races, the different religion. And for me, I continuously meet with my staff to make sure that they are understand and they're receptive to all patients, no matter what their background is. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question. I hope I am.
Well, as a follow-up to that, the next question is, do you miss being hands-on with patients, or do you just use it as a good foundation for what you do now?
I do miss it. I will not lie to you. I took my last PA board. It was 2019. So I got recredentialed while being the administrator. As a PA, you have to take boards. It used to be every 6 years, you have to retake your national board exam. It changed and now it's every 10 years. So after my last board, I have 10 years. I have my active license in New York State, not in New Jersey. I do miss being at the bedside and doing the procedures. When first patient, COVID patient came in and we had to reintubate the patient, I was there at the bedside, eager to do that. But we have the intensivists, so they did it.
And since you do miss it, let's narrow it down a little bit. Do you miss being a PA in neurosurgery in Lenox Hill specifically?
Absolutely, yes. This is, honestly, this is the best experience in my work career ever. And this is the place where I made the best friends ever.
There's a question here. Do you need to have a business degree to switch from clinical to administrative?
You don't. It could be Masters of Health Administration, Masters in Public Health. You do need some type of master's degree. I utilize my clinical knowledge. It helps me to understand what's going on at the bedside. It is not a requirement to be a clinician first before becoming the successful administrator in the healthcare. It just gives you a different outlook at things. That's all.
Do you have to deal with a lot of regulations and legislator across the various states? Also, what keeps you up at night? What are your pain points?
Okay, regulations, yes. Oh my God, I never thought that there would be so many regulations. State regulations, federal regulations, CMS, Department of Health, Joint Commission. Incredible. If before as the administrator at Lenox Hill, I only thought about what's inside my walls. Now as the CEO, it's important for me to know that my generator outside is functioning well, and that the landscaping is being done appropriately around the hospital. And if HVAC system is having the issues, it's my issue, it's not the HVAC system issue. What keeps me up at night? Literally and figuratively. So literally, I am the administrator on call every third week, where my staff reaches out to me for any administrative issues. It could be a rambunctious patient. It could be some issue with the materials supply. It could be some legal issue where the person not related to patient reaches out to us and asking for some kind of form of communication. It could be violence at the workplace, any other things. Figuratively, I'm a person who keeps having the discussions in my head after I leave my workplace. And what happens with that after I'm having the discussions in my head and I come to work, very often people have to catch up with me because I'm already discussing it with you guys through the night. Now,
I could attest to that.
But what is interesting about, I've been talking about the team. What is different between the team in the sports and team in healthcare? Team in healthcare functions 24/7. If I'm in sports, I can be the best player ever and team will benefit from it. If I'm the best player ever in the healthcare, if I'm removed from the team will actually suffer. It's the team which functions 24/7. It's important that everybody is the best player, no matter who is playing.
There are a couple of questions about why did you choose to become a PA versus a medical doctor?
Well, I wanted the immediate gratification. I wanted to get the schooling fast. As I said, I was on my pathway to go to neuroscience PhD, to get my master's in neuroscience, then do PhD in neuroscience. And the way how I was experiencing the my bench lab work, it was taking a lot of time. And I saw that by the time, let's say, I designed some kind of drug, I create a protein which will affect the receptor in the beneficial to patient way, it will be 10, 15 years easily. So I wanted a quicker route for myself to get to the end point. It was a laziness in me speaking.
What is the most challenging part about switching from a clinical side to administrative side?
The most challenging part is, one of the most challenging part is that you have to rely on your team. Even if you know that you can do the job maybe better or not worse than anybody else, you have to rely on the rest of the team to do this job. And you have to motivate the team. You have to motivate 200 employees, what I have, to be as good as I want them to be.
Absolutely. There's something else. There's a huge stigma about not showing your own emotions in medicine and healthcare as a provider. How do you balance your ability to feel your emotions fully and mourn the loss of your brother, using this as fuel to better serve your patients?
I'm into showing my emotions. I'm not into the hiding things. Well, depends what kind of emotions. If it's angry or anything related to that, it should not be part of the professional environment ever. But showing that you are vulnerable, that you are a human under your suit, under your mask, is important to your team, to your employees, to patients, to the families, that you can relate, that it creates a completely different relationship.
This is a great question, actually. How did you go from being a director to becoming a CEO?
Well,
I'm recapping all those days of me knowing.
well, I probably some of you guys played Assassin's Creed. This is the leap of faith, where you're scared, really scared to make that step. And you trust in what you learned, in what people already put into you. All my mentors, all my teachers, all my friends, they put their imprint on me. They made me better, including you, Julissa. So it is a leap of faith. You have to believe in yourself.
And then Ashley, you're going to ask a question.
Yeah, I want to jump in with my own question. I get the privilege of just getting to talk to you directly. Sorry, everybody. But I was wondering, as a leader, you're going to have some difficult conversations with people. How do you balance being like well-liked while also being well-respected, while also needing to like get the job done?
Great question, Ashley.
Thank you.
It is a great question. So for myself, I try not to overthink things. If I see something is not being right, instead of internalizing and thinking it multiple ways, I just go forward and speak up about it. I can be wrong sometimes I can be right, but just wasting my time of overthinking, I prefer not to do it. If I see the employee who is not following our policy, I need to talk to that person. The biggest thing what can not talking about the issue what can create, it will create a toxic environment where other employees will start questioning why something incorrect is allowed. You have to be fair, you have to be on point. And one of my mentees asked me, he asked me, Oleg, I've been a manager and it is so difficult. At what point in the career it becomes easier? And my answer to him was never. Things actually will get worse, will get tougher. You will get stronger, you will get more experience, and you'll actually be able to put more on your plate. Believe me or not, things will get worse, you'll get stronger.
One person actually wants you to stop sharing your screen because they want to see your face.
Oh, hold on. Ouch, how do I do that?
There we go.
I did not realize it.
Do you have any recommendations for those that are currently in high school or college on what steps do they need to take at the moment in order to go into healthcare and be successful in healthcare?
Tell you honestly, I want you to be open-minded, no matter what's happening. Open-minded about where you can contribute yourself in the healthcare. Healthcare is such a huge industry. You do not have to be a doctor, nurse, PA to really impact the healthcare. You can do it by being a programmist, by working with the materials supply, being a finance analyst. It's you really need to be open-minded, what you like to do. I made one mistake in my life, which I regret. Back in high school, I was very into programming, and I was self-studying programming languages and programming little games, and I had fun doing that. But for some weird reason, I thought to myself that I should not combine fun and job. I don't know why I was thinking it. Probably if I could go back to my high school years, I would just push myself to go into the computer science altogether. And then I would be a CEO at Select Medical. Probably the outcome would be the same, but at least do what you like. This is most important.
Do you have any favorite books?
Yes, I do. One of my books is actually been written by my mentor, and it's still on my shelf. Okay. All right. So this is the book written by
Well, that's Stephen's book.
Stephen Silich. He's an incredible person. He taught me a lot. He's provided me such an incredible guidance. And later, after years after I been taught and educated by him, I found out that he actually writes poetry. that the high executive currently at Mount Sinai Health System, he's into poetry writing and does actually a tremendous, very good job in doing that.
We're actually at time, Oleg, but everyone, there's so many comments of people being thankful to you and how inspiring you are, especially having been a PA. There's a couple of comments of people not even knowing that PAs can transition into an administrative role. So it's extremely inspiring. And it was such a great presentation, and thank you so much for participating.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me.